What's up, everybody? This is Zammu, as always, bringing you another Pokemon Legends Arc cast. We are on episode 2, and today we will have a special guest. You guys know him as Kamikaze Ekun. So let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the awesome panel. Guys, go for it.
Wow, didn't even give the co-host thing or nothing. This is Josh Shadow, the Marsh Shadow. Just throws me off the game. I'm like going, okay, he's gonna do his dialogue, and then he just completely said, and here's the other guys.
Hey, I'm supposed to be Mew here. I'm supposed to be playful, mysterious, unpredictable.
That wasn't mysterious, and we both know it. But as he said before, we have a special guest. You may know him as Kamikaze Ekun, but tonight we're calling him Ichu. Say hello, Ichu.
Ekun Pikachu.
Hey, bad Ichu, back in the Pokeball for you already.
Look at that. You're all set with a Pokeball ready to capture our friend. What's up with that?
Right.
I am a Marshadow. What do you expect that from that?
And there I am laughing at everything, floating high as a kite back there. Dude, I love how you...
Floating high as a kite. Wow.
I love how you gave me the hair and the aviators. That was a nice touch.
It's what I do.
Alright, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about a very cool yet also interestingly irritating concept, and that is shiny Pokemon. For those of you who have never really played Pokemon much, or have but still can't grasp what a shiny Pokemon is, we are going to talk about that today, why people want them, and what are some of our favorites, and if we caught some in the wild, which ones would we actually keep, and which one would we toss away? Josh, do you want to explain what a shiny Pokemon is?
Shiny Pokemon started in the original Gold and Silver era of Game Boy Color games, and progressed as a niche thing. Basically, it is a color variant of an original Pokemon. So, for example, Voltorb is red and white. His shiny is blue and white in the originals. Now, the new Arc one, it's black in the wood brown instead of red in the wood brown.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's one of those I have it, you don't kind of moments.
Right.
And the newest thing with Arceus is with the addition of Alpha Pokemon, there's also the really rare chance, if you don't try to farm them like crazy, like some people do, of getting the giant shiny. I, for one, have not seen a legit one in my game of an alpha shiny, but I've seen people get them in streams and other streams. I'm like, damn. And none of them are the ones I've seen are not doing this BS farming trick of saving in Jubilife, then going out to the field specifically for that alpha, don't see it, then then restart your game, go back out and keep reseeding the area until you finally gen it.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this a strategy that has been used since their emergence back in the day, or is this something relatively new?
The Alpha Shinies? Alpha Shinies are a brand new concept. In the old games, there was only two ways to get it. Dumb Luck or Hekimon.
Mm-hmm. Now, I got to admit...
But I should change that. I have one of my childhood best friends, a big numbers guy. Mm-hmm. Really good at he can crunch numbers. He found a program back on the DS days that let him help figure out the algorithm within each game that could tell you exactly where that Pokemon would be if you were looking for a shiny and what day and all that. It can be done, but it's one of those killjoys to the game kind of concepts.
Mm-hmm. Now, all of us here, I'm willing to bet we're all veteran players here. I'm going to say we all probably were in this since as early as Gen 1, maybe Gen 2 at the latest. I remember, gosh, I think the first shiny I ever got was a shiny Zubat. And I kept thinking something was up with my game because I'd never even heard of that before. I never even saw that because the odds are ridiculous of even trying to find one. Do you guys recall what were some of your earliest shinies and what gen games you were playing at the time?
Shiny Eevee Gen 2.
Oh wow.
For
Out of an
myself,
egg.
for myself, it had to have been the shiny Gyarados in Gen 2. And
Hmm.
like Zombie, I was a little alerted about the fact that it was red. Like I had no
Oh
idea
yeah.
why Gyarados was red, but I kept it because
Oh,
I was like, "Whoa, wow, it's like a hack or
oh yeah.
something."
Yeah, that was a weird thing about it is that no one really came out back in that time. The internet wasn't as big, leaky command as it is now. So it was natural to think, oh, this red Gyarados is just part of the story. There's nothing super special about it. You're not going to see any others. And then all of a sudden people were emerging with other shinies.
Now, do you think this is sort of evolved over the years with the following games, or do you think that this is something that they haven't really perfected yet, or at least given us a fair share when it comes to the odds of finding these?
I think they Game Freak Nintendo have never officially like came out and said these are the hardcore obvious odds. It was always data mining and people sitting there, like I said, that are really good at math and all that, figuring out the calculations and saying, okay, it's one in this and then all that.
Hmm.
I was always under the
But
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was always under the impression that it was always like 1 in like 4,000 when it came
Yeah,
to finding a shiny Pokemon. And I remember specifically in Sun and Moon, you could get this gem or this little charm that would reduce that to like 1 in 2,000.
the shiny charm I want to say has always been around since Gen 2. It's become more widely known now. It's a common item in later games. Is one of those things of if you complete your Pokedex, here's a thing that will cut down the number. Kind of deals. That's where that's always been, unfortunately. But you want
So
to talk
we're
about
not talking
weird? Go ahead.
we're not talking about it being on some sort of algorithm that after a certain number of Pokemon you run into, eventually you run into the shiny counterpart. That none of that even applies really.
The odds are it's 1 in 4 over 4,000 unless you have like little things that change it.
Hmm.
Because the whole original algorithm was like one in this, but it was like across the board. It wasn't like specifically this Pokemon. It's just people perfected it to be this Pokemon. Like the best analogy to say is with Arceus, especially. It's like having 100-sided die
Hmm.
and having a completed like a 10 on a page on your dex entry gives you this many more rolls on that die. Having a perfect page gives you an additional this many rolls against it. Having a perfect page and the shiny charm gives you like a ridiculously like 1 in 500 something of getting a shiny encounter.
Hmm.
It's weird, but I do think there's something I read that I pertinent to this whole shiny hunting thing. I think you'll find amusing.
What's that?
So before the big update they did, I think it was 0.2 or whatever they called it, last one they did, people found a loophole to do shiny cloning in the boxes, a
Hmm.
glitch. Yeah, when they updated that, because everyone was saying, "Oh, do this, and you can have 100 shiny this," and the item. Yeah, they got wise, and now there's a marker that does not let you trade it, doesn't let you do anything with it. It just has a marker like in your box on that Pokemon. It's like, yep, it's a banned Pokemon. Way to go, guy.
Hmm.
I need to save. Speaking of shiny hunting, I just shiny hunted something, and I'm kind of happy about it. Even though it was not something I was after.
Uh-huh.
And for those interested, it was a shiny Mamoswine, not an alpha, just a regular one.
Uh-huh.
But I take my shinies where I can get them.
Oh, you got to, especially when there's no real solid way of actually finding these easily, let alone, you also run the risk of being able to just capture them.
Yep.
Because
What?
despite what players say, shinies aren't an instant catch.
Nope. They can actually run. A lot of them will just bolt. They won't. It's like if they're programmed to be able to flee from you on aggro, they will. If they're not, they'll kind of sort of run from you, but it's a pain to catch them.
Mm-hmm.
Like an example is like Eevees. If you catch a shiny Eevee, with the exception of the alpha version, which don't run from anything, it wants to fight you, it will bolt. And if you've done catching Eevees in this game, with the exception of distortions, Eevee just like will run the minute it even thinks it sees you.
Yep, that's true.
The same is
find
true of
footage.
Pachirisu, the little electric squirrel that you can find in Crimson Mire. They'll run.
One of the many Pikachu clones that they attach to various animals.
Hey, Emolga is adorable and you know it.
Well, Pikachu sells games, so that's why they slap them in there.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that's true. So I'm gonna pull up some.
So I just want to do a quick shout out to everyone in chat that's appeared. We've got Moses Gaming, Filippo. I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to say Soa. Chris James T. Linda, a.k.a. The Gamer Girl. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. We appreciate it. Oh, man, I am, getting murdered because I'm not paying attention to my game, and, a whole herd of mammoths decided to go after me. I thought I'd pause, and they're like, hey, what's up, man? Beat down. Bacon gang for the win kind of thing.
Okay, so I'm going to show a snippet from someone's upload of them actually finding a shiny Eevee. And I'm going to see if I can make this bigger.
Bigger, stronger.
At least get
more
the
fantastic.
screen in there the way that I want. Okay, so of course.
Okay, quick, everyone, look at all his URLs he's on. Let's see. No. Well, you've got the chance.
Okay, so it looks like he found the. Oh, this is the alpha shiny.
See, I have not been that lucky.
Obsidian Field.
Yeah, that's generally where you would encounter them if you were going to hunt them.
See, I've only seen Alpha Eevee once and ended up catching him, but I've been to that field many, many times, and ever since then, I've not been able to catch another Alpha Eevee.
It's a really low number. It's right up there with catching a female Eevee. It's a really low number. That's there's people who are waving, oh, it's so easy to get a shiny Eevee, and it was so easy to get a shiny Alpha a bunch of times. I'm like, I'm still working on that. Catch it without it noticing you, because I've done Stealth Spray, Smoke Bomb, and been had the best Jet Ball, and it was still I see you, run. And I'm like, oh, you suck.
Well, do you guys remember before this generation when you actually had to farm and try to, have just the random draw of, the possibility of getting a shiny?
I remember
this game before, seeing the actual physical Pokemon, you'd have to wander through the tall grass. And even then, sometimes you wouldn't even get the right Pokemon.
The first one I know that had any kind of you had a chance was Sword and Shield, where you could see some of the Pokemon on the field. Not all of them. Some. There's still plenty just hidden in the grass that you could not see.
Mm-hmm.
And joining in our Poke stream, we've got Quesadilla Padilla. What's going on? Yes, I'm totally trying to keep fan base going.
Hey, no problem there. No judgment. So, again, we're looking at how these shinies that are rare in just about every Pokemon game aside from Gen 1, and just kind of the struggle it takes to even generate one, let alone catch one. And with Arceus, we're seeing that sort of increase where it seems like there's more of a chance of catching either a shiny or a shiny alpha here than there was in previous games, but I'm not so sure about that, because I remember when I really tried to shiny grind, it just does not work for me. It tends to happen when I don't go purposely looking for stuff.
Exactly.
I remember there was a time where I had spent close to about 15 hours trying to shiny grind a shiny Caterpie just so I could get the shiny Butterfree. And
Now,
that
which
just
gen
went
game was
fruitless.
this? Because there was one where it was like it had a really cool look, and it was on the Game Boy. I remember that much. The Game Boy Color ones.
This would have been Pokemon Moon.
Yeah, that one was close to, because in the original one, first they had it look very close to the pink one from the TV series, which I thought was a nice nod. But they never again did it, and then he kind of got that weird, not so obvious pink nod anymore.
It still looks really cool though, and I
He looks
figured,
he's one of the better ones.
oh yeah, and the way I was farming that thing was in that generation. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I haven't played a ton of Arceus, but in that particular generation, they could call other Pokemon to their aid, and basically, I would just sit there and,
Oh yeah.
in one little area, just, going through one Caterpie after the other, and I mean, like I said, I wasted a good like 15 hours with nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I ended that search after that. I was like, dude, I can't keep wasting my time.
It's one of those things you could spend a lot of time. I know someone who spent months just trying to get one shiny. What was weird is they were trying to get that ideal shiny, not just it's a shiny, cool, good enough. No, has the EVs, the IVs. It's shiny. It has the desired nature. It's like, yeah, no, not my table.
Mm-hmm. And that's where it really comes down to it. I think is whether or not you find shiny hunting, worth it. Is this something that really, like, is there an added benefit to having a shiny Pokemon over its original form? Why do you think that people are so crazy about catching shinies?
Part of it is that whole gloating. A majority of it is gloating, right? Some people, they really, really like that color scheme, so they will go through whatever trials they have to get it, which I can respect. If that's something you really like, and it's not because you want to brag about it, it's you just want one. Cool, whatever, But when you're getting it specifically not because you like it, it's because somebody else likes it, that's messed up.
So it's really more of a status symbol at that point.
Yep.
That's interesting because, I mean, there's no real advantage to having them, right? It's not like you get
there's nothing special other than it's just a color.
Yeah.
See, I thought their stats were a lot lower than the average Pokemon too.
I think they something like that was tried, but otherwise you could perfectly train it where it doesn't matter. What's funny is most commonly they usually do not have a desired nature the first time you encounter them. But it was in my personal experience, it's always been that if you want that super perfect ideal nature, then you better, be ready to do work or find those tools that isn't just plugging it into your computer from an SD card using a program I'm not going to mention and creating one that can be very, very hard to tell if it's a legit thing. Like, there's a program people use that I had to be aware of back when I was doing the gym leader thing for conventions, where it's hard to tell them without knowing specifically, what you're looking for. Say, nah, there's no way. I mean, one year we had to sit there and literally use another program and queue up every person that made it to our Elite Four little tournament that we had to hold. and verify that they legitimately won the badges with legit Pokemon, not BS Pokemon, to even be there. We had people. I knew somebody because I heard them talking, and it's like I tried to tell everyone. They were like, "Oh, just let it happen. This is the last one." And I'm like, they're gonna win because they're using fake Pokemon. There's not gonna be an easy, oh, it's just because they caught and trained that they were freaking saying, "I'm gonna go use this program."
And that brings up another good point with the status symbol. You know, like imagine having, you know, like a shiny Pokemon that's already hard enough to catch, and then having its stats raised pretty much to the max, or to a point where, you know, it's a pretty competent Pokemon. You know, you would think that at that point that would just be a status symbol for someone.
You would think, but you'd be wrong, unfortunately. That's why I left like super hardcore competitive play. There's too much of that waving around, and I want to be, you know, the alpha male bravado going on.
And you played competitively, right, Josh? Like you were.
Oh yeah, I was in the
you were in
competitive scene for a while, and it was very much super cookie cutter. And by that I mean, it literally was almost everybody had the identical, like, 3 Pokemon guaranteed in their team, and they were going to use it, and then it just came out to who's got lucky enough to attack first.
Right.
And that's not what it should be. But hey, what does little old me know about saying, hey, we can't keep trying to make this where we can't get new blood in at all?
Now this person here says, or at least what they consider to be the top 10 Gen 2 shiny Pokemon. How far back were you in the scene, the tournament scene? Was it as far back as Gen 2, or was it much later than that?
Nintendo did an official Pokemon tournament run where they were visiting malls and everything. I was in it back then, and it was there were no shinies yet. It was just based off of red and blue. And yeah, so I was back hardcore into that all the way at the beginning. I stopped being super competitive about, I'm going to say, I let up on Platinum, and then I just completely didn't care anymore about the competitive scene by X and Y.
So that's a good, what, 8, 10 years? Longer than that?
Yep.
Man. And was there a lot of like negotiating, like, hey, I'll trade you this for your shiny whatever? Did you ever see anything like that?
I saw some people, but I generally was the guy that was the one giving away his shiny because somebody really wanted it, and it was something I just encountered and I didn't really care about. Mm-hmm. It's like, this doesn't hold any super significance to me. This was just, okay, I saw it. I can't believe I'm trying to keep this all PG-13. Censoring me. I'm not no Master Ball.
Merely a suggestion. That's all. Uh-huh. I'm not cracking the whip.
Yet. Yeah. Next one, you're gonna see a picture of him with the red chain, and I'm gonna be sitting there on all fours, going, "Don't whip me."
That we're keeping this PG.
That was PG. I didn't say any. I didn't go into any further detail than that.
As far as I'm concerned, we're just reenacting Oliver Twist.
Please, Mew, no more. I'll be a good Marshadow.
I want some more. More. Ekun, you were trying to mention something earlier. I was curious about what you were going to add about this whole shiny competition thing.
Oh, I was just wondering. I was going to ask Josh, what was the thing that led you to leave the competitive scene?
I think I've mentioned this before in my streams, and even in the first episode. I just got tired of seeing all these people get so worked up using the same teams over and over again. And then it was just like watching literally newcomers come in and getting completely stomped out and losing any interest in the game. It's like, that's not what I want to be. I don't want to be that guy that's killing the fun. That's like how NDRs are not my thing because I feel like it kills the fun. Or speed runs, if that's what you want to do, cool. For me, that's not fun to me. That's like not a thing to me.
Yeah.
At all.
Now, were you in both the gaming scene and the card game scene, or?
Oh, I was into the card game scene until the places I was able to go to stopped being either went out of business or they did not. They got new management, and the management felt that was not bringing them business, so they weren't participating anymore in the card game scene. So that was up till I think, right before Ruby and Sapphire became a thing. Is when I stopped playing the card game, and I came back and tried, but by the time I came back to try, it was like, here's all this new stuff that's like way just bogs down the game to what I remember being pretty fun, simple, not much brain work of memorizing something.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's
now
like
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna mention. Now, did the card game have shiny Pokemon as well, or was that just something that was exclusive to the mainline?
It
series?
did. They did start making shiny cards, but they were like really rare to see. They're more common usually in the Japanese promo set than they were in the American. But nowadays there are shiny versions of them that command a decent price if you're a card collector.
Now, again, are we looking at the old school style of it being rare because it's shiny, or is it like a legit like shiny Charizard shiny card, or like how do they doll it up basically?
Oh no, the illustration would be, it's Charizard, but he's got his black color instead of his orange color. It's literally they make it look like the shiny equivalent. I mean, there's not like, oh, here's the same card, just two different versions. It's like, specifically, this is going to be a shiny Mew in this set.
So, I still have a 1 in 4,000 chance of finding a shiny, like, Ditto card?
It's not. The odds on that are more like, let's see, I think it's like a secret rare or something like that. So there's a low chance of pulling one, but it's not impossible. But if you're one of those people that says, screw it, I want to buy the single, it may or may not cost you a pretty penny depending on who or where you buy it. Which brings that whole other scene in of buyer beware if you don't know how to tell real from fake.
Yugoslav mentions this point here. I don't want to budge more to find shiny Pokemons. It's like trying to get a rare weapon in Phantasy Star Online.
Not quite. In Arceus, it's not it honestly is way easier in this game than shinies. Honestly, in Arceus is probably the easiest one I've ever played of all the Pokemon games to get a shiny. Like, no joke. I've been cataloging like every shiny I've got, or if I traded that shiny for a new shiny to some random person online, it just takes its spot, on my shiny box. And my shiny box, or pasture as they call it in this game, is almost full. But it's one of those fun messes, I think. Like I said, the card game, now there's max versions, there's V this. It's like, okay, there's way too much stuff to remember to be relevant. And why did I try to use a fighting move on a ghost type? That was really stupid. I keep forgetting that Zorua is freaking normal ghost in this game.
Just remember, you can punch the darkness.
Right?
Well, not the Dark Fox is not Dark Fox in this one. He is a normal ghost, apparently.
Before we continue, since Josh is multitasking playing Arceus at the moment, we want to remind everybody who is watching and listening right now that if you are playing Arceus, that to be sure to cash in your secret codes that are going around. You have until March 31st, I believe, to reap those benefits. we've kind of circulated a few of them in my Discord, but I'm going to pull up a couple just as a little reminder here. Now, I've gone ahead and cashed in all but the GameStop cards. So I have to make sure I do that. But this was the first one that they dropped for all of us playing.
One was like a thank you. I remember that after the cast.
So this is the first one I came across. And this one yields you 30 Gigaton balls, 30 Ultra balls, and 30 Jet balls, which are some of the best ones you can get. Especially if you're just starting the game, you'll definitely want to pick these up.
Yep, because you don't have to get the recipe to make them early in the game.
And all you got to do is go to the mystery code section and enter Arceus Adventure, all one word.
Remember, make sure you have a good internet connection and your battery's fully charged when you use that code. Yep. It is a one-time deal.
And it says here, good until March 31st, so be sure to cash that one in.
Do it! Do it now!
This was the one that Josh submitted to the Discord. It's thanks for your help. There we go. And this one yields you 5 grit pebbles, 5 star pieces, and 5 rare candies. I haven't used any of that stuff.
Well, the star pieces are good for you literally sell those off and you get, like, I think it's 10k a piece, like 5 or 10k. The rare candies do exactly what they sound like. It's like one whole level to a Pokemon each candy. And
gotcha.
the grit pebbles just help with the new system they do for EV IV training in this, which turned it into one thing, and you just get it to 10. That's good enough. That's the max you can get it to.
And again, this one is active until March 31st. Good way to level those Pokemon you don't want to keep taking with you.
Or just some that you want to have leveled because you like it.
Yep. And then the GameStop cards that I mentioned, I'm going to pull those up right now. Hopefully the GameStops in your area have these and are actually willing to give them to you, because I've already heard horror stories about this.
Yeah, there's some GameStops that are being very shady about it.
But when isn't GameStop shady?
Dude, I called because I didn't even realize the card thing was a thing until Zombie was bringing it up to me. And then I called mine because he's like, oh yeah, it should be active. Hopefully I can get one today. And I'm like, oh, let me call and see if mine has any. Trying to be that good friend to, if I can get a couple, get one for myself, give some away.
Right.
They told me on the phone, no, they didn't have it, but if they do get it, I have to buy something. And it says, somebody like, right here on the card, it says no purchase necessary. I'm like, yep, sign of a shady GameStop. Are you surprised it's hot topic with some games these days? I'm not surprised.
Not only is no purchase necessary, but every customer who walks in and requests these is entitled to 2 free ones, no questions asked. And the reason why I know that is because the first time I went, the guy had some left, but he only gave me 1. And then he mentioned that, well, when we have more, we're going to be giving up the most of 2 per customer. So once I heard that Josh and a few others were having trouble getting these in their area, I went to another GameStop, and me, Kitty Bat, and even Little Zom, we all got down and we all asked for cards, basically. So we were able to get the ones that we needed, and gave away the codes to our buddies on Discord. So when you get one, what you get is a double-sided card. First, it looks like this on the front. It says here you get 20 feather balls, and then you get this. How do you say it again, Josh? Is it Hisuian?
Hisuian. Well, this one is Hisuian. Hisuian Growlithe. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does not flow very phonetically. It is not pleasant to the tongue.
So you've got the front of that card, and then on the back, let me just get this screenshot.
In other words, guys, this might be a good time to become a GameStop dumpster diver.
If they let you, because I get told no every time I'm back there.
Yeah, see, you's a fool, because I used to work next to a GameStop. Let me tell you, if I'd had a car, because most of the time they'd be stealing our carts.
Uh-huh.
So I had to go, steal them back. Their dumpster was not secure. I saw things like if I'd had a car, like the console displays, they were for the monitor and the console or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were loose screwed, but it's like you could have probably went and bought new screws anyway. There was things like that back there. They did not secure theirs at all. But then again, they also shared it with the restaurants right next to it. So it's like any like cool electronic stuff you may find in there may not work at all because they'd be covered in delicious, delicious Chinese. And yes, that's what it was. It was a Chinese restaurant. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Do you want that? How bad do you want those store displays that you'll never get that smell out of?
Right.
If it were me, if there was like a Wii U display, I'd happily lift that thing over my back and haul it home.
Heck yeah, I would.
Oh no.
So here we got this kind of like scratch portion that they give you 2 separate codes for the Growlithe and then of course for the Feather Balls. And right here it even says it. 2 codes per customer. These codes are not for resale. And then you've got the must be redeemed by May 31st, this one. So you've got, 2 months roughly? 2.5 months to get these, let alone use them. Which is kind of cool. And yeah, I know I saw it either here or on the front, but it says no purchase necessary to even get one. So, I don't know what,
I told you, man, my town's going like straight hood. Not even the good kind of straight hood, like the bad kind where we're trying to be, like one chunk's trying to be that up and coming preppy place and the other one's like, how far can you get away with murder and not get caught kind? And I mean that on a literal sense.
So yeah, definitely be sure to get those codes, those of you who are playing or are just starting to play or still on the fence about playing, because you definitely, those are good stepping stones for getting access to good stuff right away, because you do have to learn how to craft all those later. And unless you're really, really grinding like we are, it's going to take some time before you can get better Pokeballs.
Now, do you remember what makes that particular Growlithe so special? I forget what it's like. Its original partner name was weird, and it was like from some Latin American drama show, daylight television drama show. And I'm like, okay, that is so random, but okay. Yeah, usually Pokemon like that, there's like a special move or something. This time around, it was like, nope, there's nothing special here. It just has a special name attached to it.
Well, what's interesting is normally GameStop, like even during like the Sun and Moon era, we're giving away plenty of shiny Pokemon.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I remember in particular, goodness gracious, what was it? It was I think it was Savali. I think they were giving away shiny Savalis, and I remember one time we decided we were going to go GameStop dumpster diving just for the heck of it, and sure enough we found like 2 big packets of nothing but shiny Savalis, so we're handing them out to our friends. I'm giving my daughter a whole pack to hand out to all our friends at school. And I mean, that's just one example of things that, like you can go into a GameStop and, I mean, back then they always had those kind of cards.
It really came down to distribution back then when they cared to be a good gaming store chain. It's like just, okay, maybe the middleman is what's messing it up. But nowadays it's really hard to tell because there's such scandal with them. It's not even funny to talk about. But I mean, there were people at the one I worked next to back in the day I could tell them, I was straight with them. I'm like, I have people in my gaming community that they can't get this. Is there any way I can get more than the limit? Or do I need to just wait until the next day? I was honest with them. Mind you, that location, there wasn't very many Pokemon players, so they didn't really care because they're like, this is going to go in the trash. So sure, how many do you need? Kind of deal. Nowadays, it's you walk into a GameStop, I guarantee you, they're like, do you want to buy a pop? You want to buy a pop? No, I don't want to buy a Funko Pop. Can I get you to unlock this case? No. Do you want to pre-order this Funko Pop? We have this whole, and they're carrying around like a whole printout, like binder worth of paper for pre-orders of future Funko Pops. And then there's the wall that's always overpacked. It's like, nah, I'm good, man. I did not come to collect Funko Pops. I came to see if you had any games I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. So I'm highlighting this comment from Hugo a moment ago, and he said, remember when someone bought a box of first edition holo Charizards at Pawn Stars and almost got away with $100 grand?
Oof.
Remember when that used to be the card back in the day?
Oh, I remember the first edition Charizard was like the card everybody wanted. I didn't care for it. I had a first edition Venusaur card, and I thought I was like the guy because that was my favorite Pokemon.
No, I remember hearing those stories too, and I remember like being on the bus with all my friends, and we would have those card booklets of nothing but Pokemon cards.
Yep, I'm one of those guys who played card games and has a few like long boxes they need to unload of old cards that they have a set they want to keep, and they don't play the game, so they don't need all the extra anymore.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, J-Chip. I appreciate that.
What we got going on?
Little shout out because I reached 800 subs yesterday.
Congrats, Zombie.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Working that way to 1K, man.
And here I thought we were going to be plugging channels at the end.
Oh, we will. We easily will. And Hugo's also chiming in with, I don't like Funko Pops either.
Oh, no. Funko Pops are like that thing of, there's some cool ones out there you want to have. I will give you that. But I don't want somebody pressuring me to buy them. The problem with Funko Pops is they're also that almost like a last minute, oh no, you forgot to get a birthday present for somebody, and you're on the way to the party, and all that's there on the way is a pharmacy toy. You kind of fail to them. Because there's so many. It's like that convention I went with Monkey for as an early birthday present our friends took us to. There were literally 3 tables of nothing but people trying to sell Funko Pops marked up. And I'm like, and nobody was going to their tables. And I'm like going, oh man, this is bad. It's like, I saw a couple that may have interested me, but it's like, at the same time you look at it, okay, this is obviously somebody who thinks that they're gonna get that top eBay price, and I'm not gonna be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have a small collection of them, but they're ones I like, not just every single one. And even then I look at it going, why did I get this one? Oh yeah, it's because it's these 2 guys and they're freaking awesome.
You gotta admit those Pokemon Funko Pops look pretty good.
There's only a couple on that. I had a friend who sent me a couple. I need to finish getting them, but I have Jolteon, I have one of the Eevees, I think I have Flareon. I gotta look at my list, because I had a list of like the ones I was missing from the Evolutions. But I already know the minute they come out with Umbreon, I'm gonna have to like sell my soul maybe to Zombie or something, be like, oh, Master of the Funko Pops, if you see this one, can you please grab it for me? Because Zombie's told me stories of his Funko Pop hunting, I'm like, okay. There's also one other gentleman in our community that's like big into that. It's like, if I ever have somebody I need to put a Funko hit list to, I know 2 people to be like, here's your bounty. This is the target. I prefer it be, mint in box, but if you have to kill it, I understand. Let's see, we've got...
Speaking of eBay, do you guys recall Pokemon being sold there as well?
Oh, yes, I do. There's still people that try to sell, quote-unquote, my services.
Well, I remember seeing shinies on there all the time, and it always worried me because I was like, well, are these hacked shinies? Are these caught legitimately? Because I'm not quite sure if Nintendo is still on to people about having hacked Pokemon in their game.
Oh, yes, they are. That's what the last update did, because there was a glitch people were like exploiting to mass produce shinies. And then some of the tricks people were like saying, oh, just do this and you can totally get a shiny, just doing this over and over. Now it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And, I believe we touched on this last podcast, that when everybody is spewing out the thing, and if somewhere there's a kernel of truth to it, that, or there's this common link, and you think the people aren't watching their new fledgling super popular product that's like being sold out where it's really hard to get a physical copy, you don't think they're going to update in a thing where literally they can just say, okay, automatic update through the system the next time you turn it on? I mean, come on.
Well, that's kind of Nintendo's way. That's how they've always been throughout, the last couple decades too, is they've been just super protective of anything that they have, even like people doing, like not really ROM hacks, but like, fan projects, based on games that they love, Nintendo's quick to shut that down, so I mean, I can't imagine Game Freak and, Nintendo would be really happy to find people, playing with hacked Pokemon, and I'm sure they would pretty much shut that down almost immediately.
Of course. It's one of those things, it's like killing the fun, it hurts everybody. And I in some aspects, I have respect for when they're policing something they've poured money themselves into, especially like the Pokemon scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily always agree with them attacking fan projects, but it's that line you have to walk, unfortunately, to try to keep things in check. It's just when somebody who opens their trap and is like on a watch list gets you noticed, you're kind of screwed. Feel there.
Well, I'm surprised that they're even allowed to. They're even allowed to sell like Pokemon from any of these games on eBay. You'd think that'd be a violation of what eBay allows you to sell.
I forget how they're technically listing it, and it's one of those things you can get, if you report it, they will do something about it.
Uh-huh.
But it's also that how fast can they catch them kind of feel.
Well, there's the
it's
thing
like
too is
it's a catch me if you can. Go ahead.
Sorry. Oh no, I was just mentioning that back in the day too, when what was it, Animal Crossing, the newest one, the New Horizons came out, and everybody was selling bells on eBay and all kinds of items, and Nintendo was shutting that down almost immediately doing that. So I mean, I'm pretty sure people have been, trading Pokemon on eBay ever since, the inception of the internet. So, I just figured maybe Nintendo is probably just shutting them down, and they're doing it again and again and again, and
oh yeah, they will.
Not doing anything about it.
Well, nowadays it's like way easy to change your IP and all that kind of stuff. But the ones that are always sketch are the ones, mail me your game and I'll mail it back to you. It's like, nah, I don't think so.
No, not happening.
Come back with a bootleg cart.
Or not get a card at all, and they're like, oh, I mailed it out to you. Uh-huh. Sure you did.
So I found a video, apparently this is on nintendolife.com, of the actress whose name is attached to the Growlithe you get from GameStop.
Isn't it like Teresa or something like that? Teresa Roca or something like that?
Teresa Roca. She acts in novellas apparently, and why they asked her to do this, I have no idea, but I'm gonna share this video. I gotta admit though, if they made this a show, I might just watch it.
You know, he's busting up as we don't hear the video because we don't want to get flagged. I'm like going, okay, man, losing his mind.
They
Oh
need
my
to make
God.
a plushie of that.
I want to know where that puppet ends up. That's where I want to know.
Right?
It is so
I want
like
to know where it's at.
that is so
Watch
like
it up.
creepy, cute. It's like ridiculous.
Now, apparently they made other ones, but that one is the most recognizable because, again, she's supposedly a famous actress. I don't watch novellas anymore, so I have no clue. But here's another one.
Oh no, he's falling down that Poke Novella hole. Ekun, we're screwed.
So we've got a worst chef parody.
Munchlax.
Kind of surprised that wasn't replaced with a Trubbish.
I'm gonna drop links to these videos if you guys want to watch them. I don't know if the sound's coming through or not.
Well, the sound's not coming through our videos, and I'm kind of I don't hear it anyway.
Okay.
Which is probably a good thing because, like I said, we don't want to get flagged and all that fun stuff. Episode 2, the final episode. Zombie can't do it because he got copyright striked for it.
But yeah, there's quite a few of these. There's one with Badoo, and I think one other one on the official Pokemon YouTube channel. So feel free to take a look at those if you want. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's that one with Badoo, and then this one is.
But don't.
I can't tell which one that is.
That's Badoo and Basculegion.
Basculegion.
The newest
Okay.
the new evolution they did for Basculin, which that evolution's weird. How you have to do it. It's one that you're gonna have to accept. You're gonna have to spend either some money on crafting material, or just do the cheap route of buying potions off the vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's you have to do recoil damage to a certain attack that does recoil damage, like up to a certain I forget the exact number, but it's like I want to say somewhere between 25 and 3,500 without fainting consecutively. You get your Basculin to be like, yeah, I want to turn into Basculegion.
Now here's a comment I wanna jump back to because I've been reading these as I've been looking up material, and Chris James asked, "Does the new Pokemon game do the cloud saves?"
I do not believe so. I don't think it does.
Care to explain what a cloud save is?
If it's like what I think it is, it's data that you can save up out of your system, like a virtual backup.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it does that. But I'm not big on clouds, the whole cloud, using cloud for backup data anyway.
Uh-huh.
So that's about as far as my knowledge goes, but I do not think it does it. I don't think there's a virtual, like, separate server backup save kind of thing going on.
I remember that was being something requested for Sword and Shield when it came out, and I don't think they allowed that game to do it either.
Now, is there something about I'm pretty sure since you guys have been playing this for a while, Do you both remember Pokemon Bank that they had on the Nintendo 3DS?
Yes, I do.
Now,
Yes.
whatever happened to that after the 3DS? Is it? Have they ever spoken
It's
about plans
still
of bringing that
around.
back?
It's still around. I forget what it's called, but there's a version of it that you can actually heck, I think I have it on my Switch. Let me look real quick. It's called Pokemon Home now, is what it evolved into.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Switch version called Pokemon Home. That's the
And
new
you
thing.
you can also use it on your phone if you're playing Pokemon Go, because
That
it
was how you
allows
were.
you to
Yeah.
it
Go ahead.
allows you to transfer
Oh,
from
nice.
both Go to Home, and then you can transfer some Pokemon from Hey You Pikachu, or Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, Shield and Sword, but not everything is fully compatible. It actually tells you in the game when the icon is grayed out which one it can't go to. So very reliable if you play all those games and you play Go at the same time, but there hasn't been an update um, to work with, with the new Diamond and Pearl and of course Arceus.
They are working on the Diamond and Pearl one, they say.
Mm-hmm.
I forget when they tried to mention it was gonna we'd see something of it, but I'm willing to bet we probably won't see, by the time it's gonna be one of those too little too late scenarios for it. But kudos to them for trying to keep Sword and Shield very active with, like, oh look, we're doing these special tournaments for shinies of these particular Pokemon you can only get in this game.
Mm-hmm. They're really trying to bounce back after how badly that game hit, because the backlash to that didn't die down for quite a while, and not just because the whole Pokedex wasn't accessible, but for many other reasons.
Sword and Shield is. I mean, I have a good chunk of time logged into it, but once I hit that spot, I was just like, started playing a different game, and then I got this. Well, I could play this feel, but it doesn't oh yeah, I should just keep going back.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of fell into that rare Pokemon pile of eh.
Now, what made you feel that way? Was it just the variety of Pokemon? Was it the story, the setting of the world?
It just didn't. There's that it factor. It's the best way to put it. Where no matter what you've done everything post game, all the stuff, but you'll still feel that enjoyment of just going out catching Pokemon and even just leveling a Pokemon because you can. It didn't have any of that feel to it. One of the things that already right off the top turned to a huge negative for me was how much microtransactioning they were doing. I felt I was getting done to. It's people say I'm crazy, and Nintendo was straight, or Game Freak or whoever was straight saying certain features you had to have Nintendo Online out the gate. But the game acted like, oh, you can still do this, that, and the other. It's just not as great without Nintendo Online. Which I didn't have Nintendo Online at the time, and sucked. And there's chunks of it that were literally you can only get this from a raid battle. Well, if you don't have, if you're using the crappy NPC crew, you might as well quite literally have your arms, legs, one of your eyes, a nostril and an ear tied behind your back, because you are not going to succeed very easily. You literally are fighting 5 things to one.
So you might as well just be an unknown.
Pretty much. Then you get the expansion DLC, where I felt that was just a huge financial slap in the face. Insulting my intelligence, which was, when you look at it as a whole, it's literally half the game they put behind a paywall. Which I think was unacceptable for a Pokemon game.
I'm looking at this article, and I'm kind of just, glancing over certain segments and trying to highlight a few of them. This pretty much goes into detail about why I can't even say it right. Sword and Shield fell through as a solid Pokemon game, and to this day it's still like it's almost as if fans are looking for even more things to tack on. And I mean, at this point, I mean, aren't you beating a dead horse, really?
See, one of my
Pretty
major
much.
problems, one of my major problems with Sword and Shield, and it kind of draws back to the 3DS library of games where you had, you know, Sun and Moon, X and Y, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire, and all of these games kind of work together to a degree. And you know, they had things like you had the Z crystals, you had the Mega Stones, and all of these new additions were really cool and really exciting. But then you jump into like Sword and Shield, and you know, they completely nerf all of these really great ideas, and instead they do like the Gigantamax, I believe it was called. And
That Gigantamax that gave you the kaiju-sized Pokemon, which was fun.
yeah,
I enjoyed that.
it was interesting, but I kind of miss Mega Evolutions.
Oh, you could get Mega Evolutions. It's just you couldn't get it early enough. And you had to do special side quests and find the item. And it's one of those, they made you feel like, do you really want to do all this work kind of feel. It was very insulting, yeah. It's like, okay, this was cool. Why didn't we keep this? Because we didn't want to. That's right up there with people who, once I understood some facts why the whole following you Pokemon thing disappeared for a while. They didn't like bring that into newer games. I'm like, okay, well, I completely understand why. That's extra work, extra coding, and they might not have the space or the budget to do that. Because they're already wasting enough creating and testing and making sure it works normally. I mean, spoiler here, brilliant, the new Pearl and Diamond they did. That one you can have, when you get to a certain point in the game, there's an option, you do a stupid thing and it triggers the ability to have one Pokemon in your team follow you outside the Pokeball. It's fun. But that's also because there's not brand spanking new Pokemon that were never in the game in the first place in the game now.
Yeah, that's another thing. How come every Pokemon doesn't have a shiny variant? Or does it, and they're just taking their time implementing them into the newer games?
Oh no, every Pokemon has a shiny. The problem is, how come they don't all, or are they all not readily available without some special release event thing that you have to hope you get in your area?
Because that happens a lot with Pokemon Go, where they try to really sell the idea that, hey, you know, the shiny variant is now being added to the game, and they try to entice players to come back and play hardcore, but some players are even more and more reluctant nowadays to even bother with it, because it's like, what's the big deal? You know,
what's
it's not
the big
fun anymore.
Deal, man?
You know, we just had community day for it was Sandshrew.
Yeah, wasn't like Andrew like a puke neon green color in that one?
Yep. His evolution, his normal Sandshrew form and his Sandslash form are like a puke green.
I said neon, sir. There's that radioactive glow they got.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it real quick. And they also gave out the Alonin Sandshrew form, and it's shiny.
Shiny!
So,
it's shiny and full of rage. We don't understand.
Trying to see if I can find a shiny pic. If not, I'll just Google search an image.
Googs, your friend for life.
Let's see. And nope, not in Bulbapedia for some reason.
Off to Google.
Yep.
As he pulls down the window in Google so you'll see any special things he might have looked in previously with safe search off. Things you didn't want to know about Zommew.
So here we have this is from Go. And you can see there's that radioactive green there, and then he's got like, I don't even know what to call it. Is that like brown, tan, and red?
That there, what, in regular Sandshrew form?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, he goes more back to his traditional Sandshrew colors, which is weird.
And then here's the Alolan Sandshrew and Sandslash. And this is their shiny forms.
Those look like the regular ones. Are you sure that's shiny?
Right there. Here we go. And not much color difference, really.
Until you go to the Go variants.
No, that's another thing too. Is a lot of those shinies now don't even really seem like they're worth it. Like the color variation is so like it's barely even noticeable for certain Pokemon. Like take Snorlax for example. You can barely notice that he would be a shiny Pokemon unless you really, really looked at him.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other Pokemon that are like that too. That, you know, I mean, if you were to look at like side by side, you could probably tell if it was a shiny or not. But if you were to see it by itself, a lot of times, you know, you really couldn't tell.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, see, not much difference other than he's just a darker blue, which looks cool. I like it, but I'm not going to, you know, stress about finding it in the wild or at some event unless it's going to be widely accessible.
Exactly. Oh, excuse me.
And
So,
do you think
real
that
quick-
accessibility takes away from it?
To some extent, when it's more, if it's not like a legendary that they literally shiny locked or a starter they shiny locked, yeah, it takes it away.
Mm-hmm.
But J Chip brought up a good point here. Are you tired of them always coming up with a new gimmick and hope that the next generation doesn't have any like brand new gimmicks in it for the Pokemon games?
I don't know. I'm kind of a little indifferent on that. I don't see the harm in then introducing like something that either we like if they were to bring back the ability to breed Pokemon. I mean, that's a gimmick in itself, but it was one that for the most part the fan base really liked. So, you know, something like that where either they did it in the past, but they took that feature away over the last couple of years and then brought it back. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them kind of just testing the waters a bit and seeing, is this the way to go with it or not? But I don't think that the whole game should revolve around gimmicks, no.
See, for me... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so long as they don't bring back Pokemon fashion shows, I'll be good.
I see. I completely blacked that out of my mind, but okay.
Sorry for bringing that drama back up.
No, it's not even trauma. I completely forgot about it.
Poke DTS or something like that.
But no, for me, I think it would be nice if they could get a good, successful gimmick that's not like way like Ekun mentioned earlier. You know, doesn't nerf other gimmicks that were fun. Cool. Mm-hmm. I don't mind trying them out. But I do have issue with, you know, some gimmicks, yeah, it was good. They disappeared and never made a comeback. Mm-hmm. Would I like to see some of the ones that were really good in previous games either get an upgrade or a tribute or something like that? Yes, I would. I would enjoy having those gimmicks return.
Well, like, I feel like if they had actually listened to the fans and said, like, okay, people like Mega Stones, okay, people like Z Crystals, let's try to implement them, but, you know, try to progress, try to do something different as well. Like, introduce something that they might actually like.
I think they put too much effort into trying to create like legendaries that, or you know, those subcategories where they're not legendary, but then they're also not like common or rare Pokemon, like mythical, or is it mystical?
It's mythic, I believe.
Mythic. So, you know, having all these different little subgenres, that has been something I've not liked over the years. They're either, you know, common, rare, or, you know, give them the legendary status. And some Pokemon don't even deserve that title, I feel. So maybe that's another topic for another episode of what we would consider legendary Pokemon and which ones are deserving of that title, because I think that with the inclusion of all these games over the years, they've kind of lost that specific definition and are getting too convoluted with things that, well, it's not as common as Caterpie, but it's not like you can go out and find more than one in the wild kind of thing.
I think it's more how it plays in the decks for me. Like, if it was one of those it's been there a while kind of thing, where like, oh, they're alluding to there was earlier civilizations or whatever, or it's like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
By all means, I enjoy it. But when it seems like, nope, it feels like it's a brand spanking new one we just slapped on legendary and never bothered to change it, kind of feel, then yeah.
Yeah, they don't even give proper backgrounds half the times. They just say, oh, well, this came from space, and there you go. Like, couldn't you make the mythos just a bit more rich so it's believable?
Well, like, you've got the Pokemon of Death, and you've got, you know, the Pokemon of Life, you've got the Pokemon that created all Pokemon, and it's like, where do you really go from there after that?
At that point, I'd say, okay, go back to gene splicing and making their own Pokemon like they tried with Mewtwo, or, you know, maybe, you know, take a new spin on the legendary mythos and either have them do something different, or hell, I'd be for an alternate timeline kind of deal, which, you know, Arceus kind of gives where with the time travel aspect. But I mean, like, what if we took some of the existing games and then flipped them on their heads and say, well, what if it didn't turn out that way? What if something else happened?
Zombies pro Poke Fusion, folks. He wants to see Pokemon do fusion dance knockoff now. Finally get that Venusaur that we've been waiting for wow, actually a few decades now.
Hey, I had a Venusaur in my original blue and red cart. Thank you, Game Shark. A Venusaur that can do surf? Hell yeah!
Oh no. See, you didn't do the fun stuff then. There's definitely fun stuff to be had.
Such as?
Oh, such as giving Pokemon that later they would actually give them the official ability to know certain moves. Those are way more fun.
I don't know. I kind of like
to
battle
Red
in the
and Blue.
OG games, and then you bust
Red
out
and Blue.
Pokemon.
Blastoise, a new freaking Ice Punch, like murdered things like crazy. It was ridiculous. It was like basically giving him a guaranteed guillotine that worked 100% of the time, kind of fail.
That is illegal.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like the anime followed the rules in any way.
Oh, no, I did like how the anime at one point, like, they corrected themselves to be more in touch with the game, but not really saying they did. Rules where there's an episode in I want to say the Johto span for the Gen 2 series. where they showed Gary with his Umbreon battling some rando with an Alakazam, and this kid is just like blasting more. Literally, if you take the time to count how many different attacks he did, it was more than 4. Then all of a sudden, we suddenly go back to, nope, Pokemon can only know 4 moves. Like, we wouldn't notice.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. J-Chip's posing a question here. What are your biggest Pokemon hot takes?
Pokemon hot takes.
That's going to require some serious thought.
The story for me, since from Gen 1, has kind of been important. Yes, I do, to a point, will be like, I don't care about the story. I just want to go out there and catch the Pokemon. Or I don't care about this organization's agenda kind of feel. But I do enjoy a good story. Like the Black and White, and even Sun and Moon, they had awesome stories. And that made the experience a lot more enjoyable. Because it played to that whole dynamic of, well, here's these new gimmicks they're doing. That helped me get into the gimmick a bit and the new Pokemon. Like, okay, that's why it looks kind of janky compared to the traditional Pokemon I'm used to seeing.
I don't know, like I really did like the story of Sun and Moon, and especially when they would they brought upon the Ultra Beast, which, you know, ever since they brought that into the series, they never really touched on that again. And I thought that would have been kind of cool to see like an alternate Pokemon dimension where like there were even more different types of Pokemon, but they were just considered Ultra Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then there's that backlash from competitive play that unfortunately affects everything. Or how some of the designs were just a little too far out there. That was like, yeah, no, I don't care how good you make its stats, how good you give it moves. I can't get past feeling like I'm using a pile of cinder blocks. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I just thought it would be kind of cool just to see Nintendo like expand on that, or even implement that into a different game or to a different series.
It was nice to see because they've done the whole. They started with Platinum, with Giratina having its own literal plane dimension of existence, and then they did it again with the Ultra Beast. It's a nice concept. They should. I agree, that would be fun to revisit. But they tend to want to keep that kind of stuff strictly to that game and not want to branch it out in any real way. I mean, Sword and Shield, even though they were expansion pack exclusives, finally gave us 2 new Reggies. And that took, at least a decade to get them to even do that.
I guess my Pokemon hot takes would have to be Pokemon that people like really praise the hell out of, but I find no use for in a game, or just I don't get the popularity of them. I guess would be my hot takes, because you play Go, you play the console games, and not every Pokemon's utility transfers over.
Nope. That goes into a whole different conversation we could have, let me tell you.
Yeah. And, you know, where people are telling me, no, you need to catch this, and you need to level this, and it's like, why? I don't have a use for it. I have other Pokemon that are better stat-wise, have way better move pool access. So why do I have to do what everybody else is doing, you know?
Because you want to follow the crowd. Be part of the Miltank herd.
Oh
Nobody.
no.
You don't want to, or what is it? You want to be a Wooloo now? That's the little sheep, the new sheep Pokemon. Or are you a Mareep? What region of the Poke world are you from, Zommew? Hmm.
I'm from it all. I can go wherever I want.
Well, that's true. If you know Transform, you can go anywhere you want.
Mm-hmm.
I am everything. I am. Yep. And then you get the Kurgan Mew that just goes, okay, let's go.
Although I don't know why Mew would want to transform into a Ditto.
Why not? Perfect disguise when you think about it. How long can you sit there and pretend to be a Ditto before they realize you're not a real Ditto?
Ditto Mew.
Or is it the ultimate mind F there when you think about it?
Mm-hmm.
If you reveal yourself and they've always thought you were a Ditto, are they gonna really believe you're a Mew? Or they think you're a Ditto that saw a Mew at some point in your life? But for you, unfortunately, with your aviator glass and flowing mane, it might be a little too obvious that nope, you're really a Mew.
Unless you put those on the next form I take.
Like you're really gonna be conscious enough to go like, oh man, I gotta make sure I always have my flowing locks dragging the ground with my glasses on.
I'm just saying, whether I turn into a Ditto with the aviators and the sunglasses, or if I turn into something like Groudon with the glasses and the hair.
Okay, I will give points if you can make a Groudon look good wearing aviators, considering where his eyes are. I feel that's like one of that goes right back to that pokey fashion show thing that Ekun brought up. It doesn't work.
Fair enough. But you're the artist, man. If you can do it, I'm sure we'll see a picture of that.
I'm sure I could try, but I'm also a perfectionist, and if I don't like it, it doesn't go out.
Fair enough.
I just don't throw random poop out there for no reason.
Well, we've kind of talked about shinies long enough. I feel like that's been a hot take in itself.
We need to go over to the shiny talk of catch or trash. That's where we need to go.
Definitely. But before we jump into that, can you think of either your number one or maybe a few shinies you would want if they existed? This is for chat as well. If you guys have any...
If they existed, or they do... I mean, if they exist, it's like hoping there's going to be a new Pokemon that just happens to be in that kind of field.
Okay, let me restate that. So, if you could have any shiny or shinies, regardless, whether it's game or real life, which one or which ones would they be?
Okay, it's easy. I can fire off at least 4 right now.
Okay.
A shiny Eevee, a shiny Sylveon, shiny freaking Umbreon, shiny Poochyena, and a either shiny Ninetales original or shiny Alolan would be nice. Oh, and shiny Zoroark. Those would be mine. And notice none of those are quote unquote legendary.
Okay, so there's your shiny Sylveon right there in the blue.
Okay, not the girl, folks. Not the girl. Not the girl trying to be like, I'm cute and slutty at the same time.
And then you said shiny Poochyena.
Yep.
Which I'll agree because that one's pretty cool looking.
Well, there's a special reason that's sentimental to me why I would want one.
And then
that would be because... Nope, not because it was my Deanna. It's because my Pomeranian I owned that passed away of old age and natural causes looked dead on to a shiny Poochyena.
That's cool.
So
you almost had a legit Pokemon then.
Yep, except for the weird eyes,
Uh-huh.
Pretty much looked exactly.
You said shiny Ninetales, which I'm sure they're going to show the Alolan as well. Yep. So there's is it this one here? Yeah, because that's shiny Alolan down there. So this is the shiny Ninetales regular. Yeah, that one's cool. I like that one more than the fire looking one that is up here.
The traditional.
Uh-huh.
It's
and which other one did you say?
It would either be the Alolan version would also be a a good candidate. Zoroark and Umbreon. But with Umbreon, I'd have to say I'd want the red eyes, not the yellow eyes, because that just throws it off to me. The yellow eyes do.
Yeah, so this is with red eyes right there. Yeah, I love the blue pattern in this. I think that is more suiting than the yellow or gold. And then you said Zoroark, which is this badass right here. Oh, this is a cool design. Let's see. Whoop.
Even the Hisuian one looks pretty dope, but I still have to give it to Classic, though.
I love how a lot of these designs started to go more and more with the Japanese mythos and less of like random, hey, I'm a living garbage bag.
Man, you need to let that one go.
I will let Camp have his Trubbish. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm fairly certain it was a joke, man. Cause
I don't know.
Because he told me back when I did my Pokemon Blue stream that like Gengar was his boy.
Okay.
I tend to believe that a little more than Trubbish, where it's always seemed like it was a joke when people said that was their favorite.
I mean, I people like Vanillite, so what can I tell you?
Look, people like ice cream. I'm gonna leave it there because I'm trying to be like as PG-13 mellow as I possibly can because you requested it of me. But I could say a lot of horrible things. This probably wouldn't work out.
I really want to see how one of these would survive in Arizona heat.
Easy. They'd go find their friend Kyogre, and then there would never be heat. Then somebody'd have to go and freaking catch, Groudon. Then Rayquaza would have to show up for no reason to balance it out. Then Deoxys would show up and just make everything worse.
So we're gonna take a look at J-Chip's shiny Haunter.
I have a shiny Gengar that I on my Arceus game, which I like. He started off as a Haunter, but I wanted to have a shiny Gengar to match my awesome alpha freaking Gengar that I've been
Now
pretty
because
much stomping this game.
Haunter is my favorite of the ghosts. I could go either way with this, whether it's the red tongue or the blue one, and the slightly paler tone. Either one of these would work for me.
When he does his certain movements where they used to like put energy around like his hands or something, even in his regular form, they would go like that blue energy or red energy, which would make it look really trippy.
Have you looked up shiny mega? Was it shiny mega Gengar?
Yeah, he's straight boo.
Yeah, he totally is.
Yep, Metagross is another good one because it looks like somebody put a lot of thought into making it like a precious metals kind of thing, as opposed to just like some random color.
Now this one, I have to admit, I use this in Go, especially when I can use his boosting effects, and I actually named mine Juon, just because that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this.
But yeah, Yugo brings up Metagross and Salamance. Salamance, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Salamance.
Salamance and was pretty much Mazinger inspired Pokemon. I'm just gonna say it. The mint green doesn't do anything for me on it, as opposed to just leaving him alone. But Metagross, yeah, I definitely like his shiny a lot as well, but I mean, the Pokemon either way is one of those. Once you get past his awkward first two forms, I could get behind his design.
Yeah, and he's going to be having a Mega form, which is awesome. I think, is this it? No, I think I saw it previously. This guy is a beast, too. He's is like a menace. He is so sought after in just about any Pokemon game, especially in Go. And the fact that he is the highest level non-legendary says a lot about him, even though he's slow as hell to me.
Well, he's a tank. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it is he's one of those Pokemon that can take a lot of damage, but once he like lays into you, he can lay into you.
Give him a bullet punch. Or not bullet punch, meteor mash. And it's over. Now let's take a look at Salamance. There we go. Now compared to his blue version right there.
Yeah, that's right. He had a weird mega form too, which I just like. I don't know. I'm like, okay, so it's Mazinger meets an old Batman animated series Batjet. Okay, not an amazing transformation, but I guess I can get behind it. With just a touch of, if you look at his head structure on when the art renderings they did for the Mega, it's like, oh, and he had a little bit of Rayquaza envy on the headdress. Got it.
Yeah. Ekun, what are some of yours?
First, I mean...
And you can't say any kind of Pikachu.
Nah, I have to admit the shiny Pikachu is not that impressive. But I would say, Josh just kind of brought that one up, the shiny Rayquaza.
Yes!
That's a highly sought after
beautiful Pokemon.
One.
I have one of those myself, and the Mega Evolution for that thing is absolutely insane. Absolutely beautiful.
I like both of these forms, but the shiny is definitely cooler.
Oh, the shiny makes me feel more like, okay, that's something that was dwelling in some layer of our atmosphere between it and space, and we never noticed it before. Yeah, I believe we would miss something like that color pattern as opposed to a bright green freaking snake lizard.
And, I like the green serpentine form because, again, I consider this to be, Quetzalcoatl in many ways. But this is an example where you can't really go wrong with either form. But if I had to choose, I would choose the black form. It looks more menacing. The color palette, it just stands out more. This is something I would believe that would destroy the world practically. And
if I remember right, isn't Rayquaza actually supposed to be the one that balances everything out as far as the Sinnoh regions, or not Sinnoh? As far as the third gen's region is concerned.
Yeah, he's supposed to be able to quell...
He's the one that keeps the peace. That's why he had a big beef with Deoxys showing up. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're not natural.
Well, yeah, you got something unnatural showing up, claiming territory with his sister. Or brother, or whatever the heck.
Somebody's busting out the movie facts. He's like, I awkwardly remember this movie.
And then there's the shiny form. Just gets meaner looking and meaner looking.
Well, pretty much they took the palette off of Umbreon and slapped it on the basic form, and they just flamed it up a little bit with the alpha form, or not the alpha form, the mega form, which, yeah, that was worth going through all the post game to get to it.
Mm-hmm. This would be one of my top picks as well. But do you have any others you would want, Ekun?
One that I have used quite a bit was Shiny Ditto, and it's not that impressive, but it's basically just pretty much a color swap, a blue Ditto. But I think this thing is amazing.
Alright, I'll just use this photo right here.
Blue Ditto is always fun, Ditto.
Yeah, and the fact that you can mess with people with this Pokemon. What I really dislike, though, about this Pokemon, though, is the fact that the shiny blue Ditto will not, transform into a different type of shiny Pokemon.
Nope.
Yeah.
You missed out
That
on
kind of threw
the
me off.
super fun though of having a shiny blue Ditto that knew Imposter, where it automatically came out as one of your other Pokemon. It was always fun. What?
Oh, that was a fun move, and I remember I would always equip that thing with a Quick Claw, so that anytime somebody would try to attack it, it would always attack first with whatever move that would practically destroy the opposing Pokemon.
There was a while where you could actually glitch a shiny Pokemon by bringing a shiny Ditto out and then using it in battle against a legendary. I remember there was talks about that in Go, and that's how some people were getting their shinies apparently. And it's like, how does that work? Because it's gonna revert back once it dies anyway.
Yeah, but it's just the fun of messing with somebody that they didn't even know that you had that shiny blue one until they tag it or they kill it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Any others?
And then I would say one of my favorite Pokemon was Gardevoir, but the shiny form of Gardevoir is pretty freaking awesome too.
Which version, Mega or Standard?
Both of them are actually pretty good.
Yep, I remember when she got a Mega, everyone was losing their mind on that one because it was like automatic black dress.
This one right here. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we see all kinds of smut art.
Yeah, I'm not scrolling down any further.
Somebody forgot to make sure safe search was on when he started doing this and just realized, uh-oh.
We don't need to go into waifu territory.
Yeah, we don't need any Gardevoir Rule 34.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. I'd have to say the Rayquaza is a good one. I'm gonna pick another legendary, but only because I dig the color, and that's shiny Groudon. I like this
Gold
one
boy.
more. I like this one more than the red, and I actually consider this my Godzilla in my kaiju crew in the game.
I'd maybe say maybe slightly Mecha Godzilla crew he could be considered, but as far as Poke Godzilla will ever go, we have to say Tyranitar.
I know that's the general consensus that Tyranitar looks like Godzilla, but I consider Groudon to look just a bit more like him. Like, he's bigger, he's more menacing looking. This one I would consider like Godzilla Jr., but not to be confused with Minya or whatever they called the one that shoots the little smoke.
Okay, you're gonna tell me that his Mega form does not remind you of Space Godzilla vibes.
I could argue that this is Space Godzilla, but I could also make the argument for Palkia too.
No, Palkia is a giant schlong with legs. We've already had this discussion.
But based on this connection, I could say yes, that this is more of an argument for Godzilla and Space Godzilla. I'm just saying that Palkia kind of has that vibe too, despite him looking phallic.
So you just don't want to give me that one. That's what that is. Like, I'm not giving that little ghost Pokemon the joy of saying, "Yep, you got me." This is Mew territory, yo.
Regardless, I named them Godzilla and Godzilla Jr. respectfully.
Respectfully, as if they have a Poke choice once they're in a Pokeball. What you call them?
It's like, what's your slave name?
Whoa.
But since we're on Tyranitar, how do we feel about the shiny form?
It was alright. I still thought it was worthwhile. It's basically he goes to a dirt color, more of an earth tone.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of one other. I guess I would have to say I can spell.
Spelling's cool. Make sure it's always got to end with a Z or start with a K somewhere randomly in it.
There we go. Shiny Garchomp. Or, yeah, Garchomp.
Chomp. Salsa Shark.
Not much difference, I'll admit, between the normal form and the shiny, but I do like that he's more gray.
And we're looking at the official one, not the fan put together one, right?
These are the official ones. These are in Go, and then these are in obviously the previous games too. I like the gray just a bit more because he looks more shark-like, whereas this one is still kind of borderline between shark and dragon.
Shark and dragon, a perfect team.
And I actually named mine Bruce.
Man, I'm glad they didn't make a Pokemon Gun version, because this would have been all tragic.
Well, they did. It just was unlicensed.
You know what I meant.
Yes, I do. Alright, well, we've picked out a couple of our favorites. Now let's go to keep it or toss it.
Well, I thought we called it catch or trash, but okay.
Catch or trash. Either way. You know what I'm saying.
Catch and release.
And J Chip brought up, what, you don't want your ice cream to use Ice Beam on you? I'm like, no, not really.
No thanks.
I don't want an Ice Beam with my ice cream. Usually that's a really, really frozen at the bottom of the freezer kind of ice cream treat, and I'm not down with it. That's like that otter pup you forgot was there for like 10 years, and then you're like starving and you find it. Like, I don't remember having an otter pup, but I'm so hungry right now, I'm willing to roll the dice.
Like, it can't be, it doesn't expire, it's just sugar.
No, yes it does. It totally does. But yeah, we can switch now. I felt we need to answer that pun real fast, because I'm a crazy person. Or in this case, a crazy Pokemon.
I get these photos to upload.
Wow, crazy Pokemon came out of the grass.
Hey, I'm a crazy Marshadows aggro. I have a Pokeball, and I have a Mew that thinks it's hilarious that I'm about to throw a Pokeball at a Pikachu with glasses. Where else, how far left can we go here? Or is it right? I'm not sure anymore. The world's kind of a mess.
For some reason, my computer seems to think I'm trying to open up a Photoshop, and I'm like, no, I just want to open up the photo.
I'm like pretty sure I didn't send you. I sent you completed form images. Nothing was a build. Wow, I threw the wrong Pokeball, and that Pokemon actually went in. I'm kind of confused.
Well, I guess we could always just.
Oh, come on, man.
Google.
I put effort into those assets, man.
I know you did. It's just not loading up right now.
Oh, to be fair, this platform was already trying to mess with us, just trying to sit there and like have the chat avatars show up. It's like, here's this big icon that says, you don't want to run your video chat through this camera that's not on. But Ekun comes right in and is like, hey, what's up, yo?
It's like, don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here.
Eat like... you on the premises. Alright, here we go. So this is going to be the first round of Catch or Trash. And who do we got first?
I don't know. Who do we have first? Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Who's that Pokemon?
No, that's copyright infringement. That's the dun 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 as used here.
Yeah, just be sure not to correct the people who made the first movie when they thought Scyther was Alakazam.
Now what I think of All in the Family, but it's got Pokemon sitting there doing that whole "Those Were the Days" song now.
So what are we looking
is,
at?
This is the new Liligant version. We've got the normal skin tone, which I think is more original, and then it's shiny, which is more of what the standard Liligant colors are, if I remember right. Which I thought was really...
She looks more like an onion here. Or a radish.
It's like, she's apparently more of like a dancer fighter type thing, apparently is what they claim.
Now, do you guys prefer this version, or do you prefer the original?
I kind of like the original.
Yeah. I'd have to go with
the
the original.
But as far as like which color I'd want, I'd probably keep the normal. But I wouldn't mind having the shiny, but it's not a priority to me. So I'd probably catch both of them, given the opportunity.
Okay.
I wouldn't trash that Pokemon at all.
Honestly, I would probably mistaken that for a normal Liligant, just based on the fact that the colors really aren't that much different. And
he's like, unless I see those little sparkles, we're doomed.
Pretty much. You know, and I mean, that's kind of like the complaint I have a lot about a lot of shinies, is that, you know, like I was mentioning with Snorlax earlier, they're just not that much different.
Oh no, there's some that's literally they just messed with the contrast.
Yeah, I would not bother catching that one.
So he's going to be in the trash pile.
Gotcha.
Or she, since they're all female apparently.
I think I would catch either one, if not both of them.
So you're in the catch category.
Yeah, I'd be in the catch category. I just wouldn't prioritize them.
Alrighty.
So next up. Oh, I think this is kind of spoken for.
Oh no, I there was that rage mode you had one time talking. I felt on one of these. I'm like, you know what? That's easy. Feels guaranteed legitimacy to hear the opinion of one of these ones.
This is easy for me. Catch either, if not both.
Oh, it's total cat. They're catch. I've already trained one. Caught a good normal one. Now I'm like prowling for hopefully seeing a shiny at some point.
Now, is this Zoroark?
This is the Hisui region variant of Zoroark.
I would catch both. That looks really awesome.
Total catch pile on that one.
I would put more emphasis though probably on getting man. The normal form looks more based on the mythos, but the shiny form just looks way cooler.
Yep. But it's definitely got that good and evil traditional association color vibes to it.
Uh-huh. Like the normal form, it gives me the Okami vibes, but I just dig the purple and white here. It just works better.
That almost grayish white purple gradient transfer.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like we're all unanimous in catching both of these. So it looks like J-Chip's catch both.
Yep.
Oh, he's asking the question: catch or release Mankey? Catch.
I'd probably catch it just out of tradition.
Yeah, I need to fill my Pokedex.
Mankey is always fun. He's not in this game, but hey.
I like Mankey. Primeape was also cooler, and I would definitely want to own any Pokemon that beat up Ash, for sure.
The first to say, "I am not your Pokemon."
Yep. That's right. Until Charmeleon rolled around. Alright, next one.
Who's that Pokemon?
Ah, brother.
I told you there were some good ones, and there was some. I knew we'd get some legitimate reaction out of you.
I'm gonna say I don't care.
Oh no, you have to answer the question. You can't go, I don't care. You're not a brooding teenager zombie. Come on, man.
Hey, I got the hair long enough to brood.
You can brood all you want. This one, yes, I totally aimed this one at our guest. I'm not gonna lie on that one. I totally aimed it at him.
Not a surprise, but this is definitely one. It really wouldn't matter to me because I mean, good lord,
it's a catch or trash.
The difference, man.
It's like getting American cheese or cheddar cheese.
No, this is like getting. This is getting cheese and cheese-like substitute.
Kraft versus Cracker Barrel.
Pretty much.
Or Velveeta.
Now poor Ekun has to go shiny farm a shiny Pikachu just to be in his Arceus and a regular Pikachu, and name one Cracker Barrel. Name one Sea Barrel and one Kraft just so we can be amused.
Yeah.
I think I'll name my best ones that for sure.
Wow.
If I ever run across that.
In any event, it wouldn't matter, honestly. So I guess because the original one is nostalgic, I'll just catch the original. But
oh no, I'd catch both simply because I really like Shiny Raichu because it's a little darker. It reminds me a little more of like early comic art and color on its color palette.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like my main reason. Otherwise, no. If it was a shiny Pichu, sure, because who doesn't like shiny Pichu? It's already small enough and hard enough to see. Having it sparkle a little bit when it comes out is kind of a bonus to me.
So, yep, catch, I guess, but I really wouldn't put a priority
reluctantly.
on it. I'm too much of a completionist, so I would just do it for necessity in that regard, but it's not like I'd be all, I'm going to dedicate my life to getting a Pikachu.
No,
you know?
Absolutely not.
I could see myself accidentally killing that thing.
Accidentally killing that thing.
Not even knowing.
Ekun's just marching his people out, and you're like, first time? Would you like a Pokerust before you go?
Now, if it was an Pikachu here...
Oh, God.
Yes. If there was a Pikachu walking around with glasses, highly intelligent, then hell yeah, I would catch that.
Yeah. Or get one of those what were they, like, I think it was in Sun and Moon, they released like 7 different Pikachu variants, with like different hats from different regions.
Yes.
Those were fun to collect.
Yeah, that was for the anniversary, and then they were the different hats that Ash wore in the anime.
And yeah, that was a pain in go as well, trying to get all the different hats. J-Chip is asking, catch or trash Wooper?
Wooper.
Trash.
I'm trying to find some way to say I care about Wooper, but no, I'd have to go with the trash option.
I have never used Wooper. I have never used Quagsire. I found them more of a pain to catch and actually level than, having difficulty catching it, but then it actually having utility and being like, well, this was worth it,
I would definitely say trash. There's no reason to have Wooper.
Wooper is that Pokemon Wooper's that Pokemon that you feel like you're now going to get on a list for doing like a hate crime or something. It's like that special needs kid that like now everybody judges you for because they wanted to fight you.
Wooper comes off as like the Pokemon that you wouldn't go out of your way to catch, but you wouldn't want it to be alone either. Like you feel kind of bad for it.
Oh no, I'm the kind of trainer that will literally like murder every one of those until I absolutely have to get it for the Pokedex entry.
Hey, welcome, Romance. we are doing a round of catch or trash. We've so far shown a few pictures of Pokemon, whether regular or shiny, and would we catch them or trash them? So that's kind of what we're doing here, and we are also taking requests from everybody watching, so feel free to shout some out if you'd like to.
So,
welcome.
Ekun made it sound
Boy.
pretty much like he's saying we are going to trash the Pikachu by accident, allegedly. I'm just putting that out there. Allegedly by accident, not on purpose, but no, I question it. So how many Pikachus died for you to be happy? How many?
We've got Craft and Cracker Barrel. That's our new goal, gentlemen. We've got to catch a normal Pikachu and a shiny, and that's their names from now on.
Everyone now has to have one that's either named Sea Barrel, because I don't think Cracker Barrel will fit in the 12-character limit.
Right, and you wouldn't want to just name it Cracker either.
I don't know. If I did, it'd be one of those moments you've got to be like very suddenly aware of who you're battling, if they have a sense of humor or not about it.
Right. Let's see. So I'll make sure I pull up the next one here. Very good art, by the way, Josh.
No worries. I just put those together. No, that I didn't sit there and like painstakingly render those by hand or anything. I just put them together because we need good visuals.
Now, Josh has already answered this, and we all kind of have in our own way, but these would definitely be catches across the board. I don't see anybody turning down a Ninetales.
A shiny Shroomish. I would definitely catch because its evolved form, Shiny Breloom, is freaking awesome looking.
Yeah, I'd have to catch the shiny form, but trash the original.
Well, it depends. Are we playing a game where it has a certain Pokemon power, or are we just playing like Arceus where they don't have Pokemon powers? That's the real question there. Because that makes a difference.
They don't have Pokemon powers yet. They haven't implemented it, but I'm hopeful they do.
Well, maybe in the next one. I feel like that even if they did DLC expansion content, that would just be too much to try to overcome. But yes, I would obviously. Hell, I caught a shiny Ninetales in Arceus. I just haven't trained it to be a murder little shiny Ninetales yet. It's not alpha, unfortunately, but
look at this. J-Chip saying Vulpix over Ninetales.
I don't know about that. That one I want to hear. I want to hear why that on that one, because I personally like both of them, but I lean more towards having the shiny Ninetales.
Well, let's see if we can get him on board and explain the why Vulpix over Ninetales. But in the meantime, we'll keep going.
He can type it if he don't want to show up. I don't mind. That one makes me kind of curious why you say that. Where's your standing on that? Do you pick Vulpix or Ninetales on that one?
Ah, here we go. Vulpix has the better design.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vulpix is like that cute little kid, and then it turns into that like gorgeous adult. But hey. That was just my understanding of, Japanese history and all that, so take what you can on that one. Then again, I always make a point of my Ninetales being a female because of, the whole mythos behind it.
Right. Yeah, I have a couple of hundos in Go, and I've evolved the female hundos into Ninetales for the same reason. Alright, so Ekun, where did you stand on Ninetales?
I would definitely catch it.
Catch?
I would definitely catch the shiny version. That one looks really cool. Plus, it would match my my normal Alolan Ninetales.
Yep, that was that was one of those ones where it was a very good representation of variant or region variant examples, which I'm glad that gimmick has kind of kept going.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense when you think about it, and like we talked about when we were watching the Tremors films, how the graboid worms showing up in different regions and the regions having effect on their evolution was such a cool addition to the mythos. I like that a lot. Oh, we've got, and let me highlight J-Chip's point real quick. It's short and sweet, but I think in terms of aesthetic, Vulpix looks cooler. Also, I don't like Ninetales' color. I wish it was still orange and red.
Oh, that's not a bad complaint. I can get behind that.
This is an automatic catch either way. I think personally, because I love the Oda Nobunaga look that the normal form has, I would have to put the normal form over the shiny, but this is a win-win situation for me. You can't go wrong with either.
Okay, Ekun, where do you stand on it?
You know, honestly, this is my starter Pokemon. So
yes.
Really, I'm the only one that had to be the weak link in this group. No, when it comes to the starter. Well, to be fair, how I ended up with the emo kid Typhlosion was who was it? I think it was Phil who said he was playing it and he was doing grass starter. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that leaves me with the fire.
Yeah, he went with Rowlet.
I was pretty sure I thought he was going to stream some of it, but he's elected not to, I guess. But I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth or make assumptions. I'm just like, I have not seen any footage.
Yeah, I think he's just playing it on his own time.
But yeah, I could go either way with this Pokemon for sure. I really do dig the white on the shiny too, like at how it just like really brings out the blue highlight, you know, like the blue in his fur and everything else. It just looks really cool. It does make it stand out a little bit more than the original form.
Mm-hmm.
I would catch it, but it's not one I'm gonna go out of my way to hunt down a shiny version of.
Okay. So
mostly because I just need one for the decks, period. But you know, hey.
Yeah, and if you those of you in chat, feel free to shout out which ones you would catch or trash as well. This is you know, a way to involve everybody. So feel free to let us know what you would catch too. J-Chip mentions catch or trash Muck. I could never trash Muck. Catch all the way.
I feel bad for Muck's existence, period. I'd have to go with a catch.
I'd have to catch Muck in any form, although the original...
Except for the Rainbow Vomit. That one I feel kind of on the... I kind of hesitate slightly.
Let's see. I would have to go with his... Any form of Muck would be fine, but if I have to be picky, I would want the shiny form, because he looks like Hedra.
Shiny form for the original, but what about the Alolan variant?
I'm not too big on the Technicolor.
The one where it looks like it's a drunken colored drink rainbow coming up? With some sugar crystals in it?
But I really can't say no to Muck because of the fact he's Muck, so...
Just say no to Muck. What?
I would be happy catching any of those forms, but specifically the original shiny because I want Hedra. I want a Kaiju as a Pokemon. Alright, and let's see, our last one. At least for tonight. And again, we'll answer any ones that you guys throw in chat in the meantime.
Let's see, well... Vintage Gaming Boy asked us, what's our favorite generation Pokemon that evolves into their final forms?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
That needs to be a little more specific. Because that's kind of like, okay,
I'm trying to understand the question.
Yeah, it's like, okay, are we saying like overall Pokemon or what? What are we...
And J-Chip says, I would totally catch Alone in Muck.
Alolan Muck looks kind of like a fever dream almost like a Hunter S. Thompson kind of Pokemon.
Yeah, like, you know, I get like this kind of Walden, you know, what dreams may come kind of thing. Like, am I on I'm just gonna call you Acid. Because
First name Ass, second name Trip.
there you go. All right, so here we've got Blissy, and not much difference.
Trash.
Nope. Yeah, I would catch it, but not the shiny form.
Oh, Blissy's a great wall. I'm never gonna deny it that factor.
No, Blissy is awesome as a tank, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get the shiny because the variant is not that much different. It's like looking at pink and pastel pink. You know, Cadbury mini eggs, practically.
Cadbury mini eggs.
Now, there's a rumor. I haven't confirmed it myself, nor have I seen it confirmed. But there's a rumor in Arceus that if you take damage in front of a Blissey, that it will run over to you and try to heal you.
No, it will not. I will debunk that one for you right now. No, it will not. It will come and want to mess you up.
Because aside from the Alpha Blissey, is it naturally aggro?
No. But it is super skittish, but the Alpha one will mess you up.
Yeah.
It will not feel pity for you at all. It'll be like, yeah, I'm going to break your legs.
I mean, do you expect it to?
Well, according to everything else, yeah, you kind of would expect it to. No, it runs away, and the normal size ones just bolt from you.
Mm-hmm.
They could care less that you're injured.
Yeah, I don't know how that rumor got started, but apparently...
Because there's a sub-quest that's actually attached to its Pokedex entry.
Uh-huh.
And people are just running what that has. Oh, it will do it to mess with people.
I see. Well, once I start filling up its Dex entry, I'll have to toy with that some more and kind of get my own take on it. But yeah, as cute as Blissey is, and I know my girlfriend likes the chansey line, I would have to say trash.
Negatory
On that one. Catch Blissey, I would literally never have to go to the hospital again.
I don't know about that.
I do like Blissey's design. I do. I think it's more interesting than the Chansey and Happiny line. But again, not enough to go out of my way to go get that, you know?
Not enough to go. Where's the beef? Where's that steak and eggs, yo?
Well, I'm not trying to catch Clara Peller. She's unfortunately passed on years ago. So what are your guys' thoughts? Catch or trash?
Oh, I'd catch it strictly for the data I need, but otherwise I'd be trashing it. Like, on its Dex entry,
Uh-huh.
I'm literally, I think, finally at the point where I just gotta stomp it out with, like, fighting moves and then just in general. But it's such a tank, and the only one that's, like, super regular you can guarantee will always be there is the Alpha, so you know it's gonna want to stomp on you hard, because it's gonna get that Alpha rage.
Right. Now, Blissey is definitely a tank in Pokemon Go. I use her to troll gyms that my team has occupied. Although, research has kind of shown that Chansey maxed out is even more tanky than Blissey. So, I've been trying to play around with that to see how legit that is, but I have no real confirmation on it as of yet. But it's something I'm going to experiment and go with, at least. J-Chip has one more request. This one is kind of cringe, I'm not going to lie. Catch
Complete trash. Complete trash. Have you seen it shiny? It goes to like a urine yellow with
Yes,
a bright baby blue X for its nose. Yeah, no, pass.
I think I would just pass on principle. But
Oh no,
on the
it's garbage all the way around.
the thing why I would want to catch it though is because there's less Drifloons out there to kidnap children.
No, suddenly you're gonna be that guy who has a van full of Driflooms, and every time you go by a school, you're gonna get pulled over.
I mean, I
If you
gotta
do that.
protect the children somehow.
As if I was joking here. See what I mean? It looks like a urine yellow with a little, another thing that, is secreted on top of its head. And then this random bright blue, baby blue accessories. Nah, I'm good.
And then they carried that design over to Drifblim.
Just imagine someone's surprise if you were to go into a Pokemon battle and that were to appear.
You know what? There's a lot of people that I've seen do hunts. They're specifically hunting for that thing. And I'm like, why? Because it's hated by everybody else. I'm like, so you're trying to be that out crowd. Go for it, man. But not my thing.
I would actually try to catch that one.
Not me. Not me. Not me.
Shiny or normal?
I would totally go for shiny.
Okay. Oh, and what would you do about the Blissy? By the way, I don't think we got your response to that one.
Nah, that looks way too much like the original.
Okay.
It just would not be worth it.
J-Chip is asking the question: is Chansey more tanky than Miltank?
Yes. Defense and HP wise, it can outlast a Miltank. Miltank's more of a cleric tank than Blissey is. Miltank is that kind where, yeah, it can sit there on the battlefield and be your medic to cure things, but that's about it. It can be more easily taken out than a Blissey. Blissey can just sit there and go, hey, yeah, keep pegging me. Now watch this soft boil or wish or whatever, depending on what game you're playing. It can literally just sit there and outlast you health-wise until you're struggling yourself to death. Or you quit out of frustration.
Yeah, I was going to say that Chansey and Blissey are definitely walls when it comes to battling. Miltank is kind of somewhere in between in that it does have a good defense and it does have offensive capability. We all know that rollout is legendary with Miltanks, especially when you're fighting that trainer in Goldenrod whose freaking rollout can take you out in the first move, or it takes another charge.
Now,
bam,
are we talking about
Are
we talking about the remake, or are we talking about the original where it was a male?
The original.
Before they decided to brand it as an exclusively female Pokemon.
Yeah, we're talking about the original. We're talking original
gold. Yeah, that original gold and silver. Yeah, that thing was a menace if you didn't have the right gender Pokemon, or not gender Pokemon. You didn't have the right typing on your team and the right level. It could totally crush you. I forget what starter was this Pokemon. Basically, you are going to struggle early. It felt like extreme hard mode. Because it wasn't like there was anything you could catch to kind of balance you out. It was more, okay, you just got to over-level and then have a bunch of sacrifice.
And I remember, too, you could trade for, a Machop to battle that thing. But you had to know where to look. You had to know where that trainer was located. Can't you just pop him with a thumbtack?
You would think, but apparently it's strong enough to, kidnap small children.
And how does it kidnap kids anyway? Look at those little scrawny arms.
I don't know, sir. I don't know.
And here we are sending little 10-year-olds out on their Pokemon journey.
And instantly get kidnapped by this thing.
Yep.
But those are some really good choices you guys submitted. So thank you all for that. That was pretty fun. We definitely should have like a round 2 in the next episode. Maybe this will be like a regular thing we end the show with.
Catch or trash. Brought to
Catch
you
or
by
trash.
nobody. If you want to be a sponsor of Artcast, please reach out to us. We're very much willing to sell out. So maybe our guests. Our guests might be disgusted with us, but we're willing to sell out. As the first guest, Ekun, how would you feel if me and Zombie here sold out?
It's sold out.
Haven't we already?
Oh no, I mean no, we get like corporate sponsorship now where we have to read off script and everything.
Pepsi presents Who's That Pokemon?
I imagine there would be some guaranteed haters on that one.
In what is that? How do they say that? Not in lieu of, but where they list like one sponsor and then they list another one almost immediately. It's a certain phrase that they have. I wish I could remember it and not blank right now.
I'm
in
blanking
conjunction.
on it.
There we go. There we go.
Oh,
in
there you go.
conjunction.
There you go. That's what we're looking for. In conjunction with, it proudly presents.
Yeah.
Or like how the Dana Carvey show used to be able to like advertise, like show the advertisers right as they were like announcing the show itself, like Pepsi Cola, you know, like, you know, the Dana Carvey show presented by Pepsi Cola, and they'd have like one of the most atrocious things on TV there.
Mm-hmm. That's what we should do from now on.
We can always hope.
J-Chip's making a suggestion here. Find someone that can animate the different segments. Truth be told, I am actually in the works of trying to decide how we could and what we should animate. And I'm also looking at getting a soundboard of some kind, because I also want to add like little sound effects that we all would recognize, you know. Especially for the catch or trash segment, we could use like the Pokeball opening or it closing. We're like, yep, trash, catch.
Okay.
So
Let's see. So we've got questions here. We're not doing it on Discord, so I mean, you can join Zombies Discord if you're not a member already for that, and you know, drop ideas. But this is not a Discord chat.
no, this is a completely different platform.
This is Who's That Platform?
No idea.
Presented by Pepsi Cola.
No, that one was by Coke because Pepsi wouldn't pay out on it. Try new Coke Peppa Berry. Yes, Peppa Berry flavor.
You know what? I would definitely try drink flavors around the Pokemon berries. I totally would. Not gonna lie. I want to know what a Chesto Berry Cola would taste like.
Oh, this is gonna go. Why are we gonna suddenly now have weird? Let's find out what people. Let's find these recipes for no reason are themed around Pokemon and have an opinion.
You know what? Have you seen the evolution drinks?
Yes, I've seen the alcoholic drinks that concoctions people came up with. And yeah, some of them look tasty, but I would never know because I can't consume alcohol. So there you go.
I have yet to try them myself, but I know they're out there. And I gotta say that, yeah, they do look pretty good. And I think because I like Malibu, the Vaporeon drink would definitely probably win me over.
I love J Chip's fucking idea. I'm sorry I had to drop an F-bomb there. Oh my god. That would be perfect. That would be so perfect. I like
Animate a Pokemon character looking zombie catch Drifloon while Josh takes the ball and throws it in the trash can and lights it on fire.
I could get behind that one.
I'm gonna have to revisit this idea, and if we animate that, J-Chip, I'm gonna totally acknowledge your idea.
Inspired by viewer J Chip.
Brought to us by Pepsi Cola.
Professor Oak brand weedy when you need that extra push to get your decks done.
Why, hello everyone. I'm Professor Oak.
I keep you regular beyond my studies.
And I'm brought to you by Yo Plate Yogurt.
Now, what was the name of my grandson again?
And then we push the promotion for Alzheimer's or something like that. If you have a Professor Oak who's losing his memory,
if you have anyone who can't remember a loved one, get them tested.
right? It turns into like one of those really serious commercials with the piano music and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just picture like something like Butt-Face Scary Oak, attorney at law.
Oh wow!
Like, that's what my grandfather called me.
Tell us
why
on the Ditto where he touched you.
Oh my gosh!
Tell us where that Drifloon touched you on the Ditto. It's okay. You know,
if you guys really.
You know, there's gotta be there's somebody who's had that idea and did some sort of comic with it.
Oh man, you introduced me to the Dorkly channel, and that pretty much summed it up.
Oh, if Pokedex was literal, did you and Little Tom ever finish the Rusty Adventure one? That one was.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
that
he
was
loves the
messed up.
Rusty one.
There's one where I can't remember what it's called on there, but like Red's son is actually like some mutant Pokemon and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one's fun, but kind of in a messed up adult way. I don't know if you want to let Little Z watch that one.
I enjoy the one because he likes the story of Rusty, even though that one is adult humored. But
it
I
has
let
hit
him
and miss
get
moments.
Yes, it does. Of course, the what if Pokedex entries were literal? Highly recommend that because that one is hilarious.
They have a couple other good ones on there too that aren't Pokemon, but it's really good.
Yes.
The Sonic for Hire collection's really good. Mega Man dies at the end. That was a classic. It was like the first one I saw that turned me on to Dorkly before they got assimilated by Lowbrow.
I really liked the one that was if Pokemon trainers were actually smart. That little short was great, especially the part where when he mentions that he used Missing No to clone bikes, and then he sold them all for like $1 million.
Yep.
And Scyther's like, well, wait a minute. If you sold this many bikes, then we have 2 bikes left over.
Oh,
what are we gonna?
Did you see the short where it was a real gang, and they like Team Rocket or one of those groups had a problem, and they showed them how to really be criminals with Pokemon. It's like, oh man, It was messed up funny, but I enjoyed it. The last one they did, if Pokedexes were literal, was kind of dark humor, which was most recent, the Torterra one.
Yes.
That one was kind of funny, but dark humor when you think about it.
We just saw that one today.
And then the last one before it was Torkoal, where basically Team Magma figured out if it was literal, the overly complicated plan, there's a simpler way of just getting one and a whole mess of Ditto to accomplish their goal.
Wasn't that the same channel that made stuff like Brutal Mario and Link's Yard Sale?
No, I don't think they did that one.
Those are pretty funny.
Also,
I know
the Pokemon disappointed with their evolutions is great.
Oh,
that one makes me crack up.
Every time you see Lopunny just come on screen. Why am I so sexy?
Why am I? And then Gardevoir says the same thing about, I'm a waifu Pokemon? Who made me a waifu?
I always feel bad for Cubone, though. That one, they went a little too hard with the emo theme, though, on that one. Now his skull is permanently fused to my head.
Shoot, what one was my favorite one? And I like them all, but I know that. Oh, I think it's the Abra into Kadabra, and he's like a spoon. Why would
Yeah,
my evolution involve silverware?
yeah. There's a lot of them that are really good. It's worth checking out.
We just gave Dorkly a free plug, but I don't mind because I
Well,
love
it's
his
entertainment, and it's something.
content.
It's something I do on my channel. I always, if you go to my streams, I always have a command that I promote another creator or channel, streamer. If it's something entertaining and I find value in, or I think they're underrated or whatever, I share them out. It doesn't matter if you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube or you're on both. I will send some people over to show some love and say, hey, you should check this out.
Definitely. All right. Well, do we have any final thoughts? Anything that you guys want to share? Anything you're working on, playing?
Well, I wrapped up doing a chunk of Force Story on Arceus while we were doing this. I only caught one shiny. Dun dun dun. I caught the dreaded shiny Memos one that was not alpha. But I also got Dex Entry done off of it, so I mean, hey, it's not all bad on those outbreaks.
Very nice. Ekun, anything you want to share? Anything you're working on?
Well, right now I'm working on a fairly massive purchase as far as games go. I've got somebody who's offering me, at least a good 20 to 30 games for a really good price, and right now I'm, we're going back and forth doing that negotiation bit where, he wants to sell high and I want to buy low, so we're kind of trying to meet in the middle there, but hopefully...
Now, are these all games you need, or is it a lot where there's a few you want and he's got a lot of filler? For you, it's just filler that you don't really need and you can get rid of.
There's a lot of doubles, but they're doubles that are good doubles, like the kind I could give to friends or I could flip or whatever. So
so it's not a total loss then, where you're
no, he's not selling me 5 copies of Silent Service. So,
right.
So we're just kind of trying to meet in the middle as far as the price goes as to what we're looking to pay for these games, but it's a good chunk of Super Nintendo stuff, so I'm pretty excited about that. And there's some Game Boy games in there too, and I noticed that he did have a copy of Silver, so I'm really excited to add that to my collection.
Nice.
Okay. So, real quick, person that wants a shout out, you should be totally checking out is the J-Chip show. Do we have a link for J-Chip? That's the bigger question here.
Already dropping it.
So he says he's 14 away. You should definitely, if you're not subscribed, check them out. Give them some attention. Always a good thing. Let's see.
Recently, he's been doing his video game reviews and his anime reviews. So if you guys are into anime, especially, J-Chip knows a lot of them. He knows a lot of good rare ones too.
Dude, that just made me look over to my packed up shelves full of anime and going, man, why is everyone gonna make me want to watch stuff I can't unpack right now? But let's see. Vintage Gaming Boys also requesting a shout out. I believe I'll let Zombie nail that one.
Was there one? And I didn't see one.
Can I get a shout out too? I'm almost at 500 subscribers.
Where is that on my on my messages?
It is right under the where you said hello to Mike Kruger, and right before you commented on J-Chip. All right.
I'm not seeing on mine, but sure, we can.
Let's see if I can find him.
We can drop a link in there.
Let's see. I'll get his link. I'm on it. I'm on it. Put me in, coach.
Once again, Mike bringing up You guys haven't beat this yet? It took me a week.
Yeah, I got this thing called a bunch of responsibilities where I'm kind of trying to take my time and enjoy the game. But to be fair, I've pretty much gotten to almost exactly in the story where you're at. But I, once again, not trying to turbocharge it. Now, back in the day, yeah, if I was like, screw sleep, oh, I would have been done with it like the first day.
I have to sometimes fight the urge to go to bed myself, so I still have a little bit of that in me, but I'm like, no, I work now, so I should really recharge.
I gotta be an adult and responsible.
Yeah, but
Oh, what
if
it
I
would be
didn't
like
have
to be
to,
a
I'd be
kid.
staying up till I passed out. But yeah, I'm having too much fun with the decks, honestly. Now that I'm in a new region, I'm trying to maximize all those dex entries, and I still have to go back to Obsidian Fields and get some of those entries taken care of. I got to get the one specifically I know for sure. I got to get the last combies to fall out of the trees.
That's just one of those ones that you just gotta accept it. You can only do hunting that so much, then like be okay, take a break, come back, do that again.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I had to do it. That's the whole thing. My biggest complaint as far as like specifics and dex hunting on that is the ones where it's like catch a certain size and there's like no real way to like catch it unless catch the whole size difference unless it's got an alpha variant. It's like catch a big one, then you're like, okay, I'll just go catch the alpha that like respawns there constantly. But if it's like a light one, it's like a crapshoot. Really is.
Mm-hmm.
You only have to catch 5 of them and 15 of this one. It's like, okay, by the time you finally catch the 5, you might have had to catch 45 to finally get the 5.
Yeah, going for specific natures doesn't make things easier either, but I'm guaranteeing that it's probably going to be worth it once they start implementing more options for us. Because then I'll have to go out there and be like looking for it when I've already got it, you know?
Yep. But as we were heading towards our lovely, lovely wrap up here, where can we find you, Ekun?
Well, I have a channel just called Kamikaze Ekun. I play video games, live streams, collect video games, and everything gaming related.
Okay.
And I'm the guy in the Pikachu costume.
That don't try to be coy about that. That's your real fur. That's your real skin.
He skinned his Pikachu people to wear that suit.
If I could do the
Peter's on the
Buffalo Bill
lookout.
dance right now.
I did put your channel in the description link. So, guys, if you're not familiar with Ekun's channel, do him a favor, do yourselves a favor, and be sure to check out his content, especially the live streams, because those are always fun to be in when I can catch them. And that anticipation stream, man, I don't know how you lasted so long with that game.
Believe me, I was ready to turn that thing off.
I got my CIB copy autographed by Pat the NES Punk and Ian, because that was one of my favorite episodes that they did. And I think it was Ian who said, do you genuinely like this game? And I said no.
Maybe.
But I like it enough to have you sign my CIB copy of it, just because they brought up a lot of good points that everybody tends to bring up when they play that game. But yeah, be sure to check out his channel, guys. Link in the description. If you like what you see, I'm sure he would appreciate the support. And thank you for being on this episode with us. And feel free to come back for any other future episodes that you might be interested in, or if you want to lead the topic yourself.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with you guys tonight.
By all means.
A lot of fun Pokemon talk.
Oh yeah, and
you obviously all know. Go ahead. I'm
I was just
interrupting like
gonna
a
say,
like a chode.
like
that
a
that the
like a
fungus
fungus.
amungus. You've been
Uh,
spored, zombie. What are you gonna do? You're
I'm gonna
paralyzed.
I'm gonna spore right back with spores from Parasect, man. The
Uh,
actual zombie Pokemon.
uh-huh. But
I was just gonna say, as we do more and more of these episodes, we are gonna try to spruce up the presentation, see if we can have more guests on the show, and we'll keep coming up with some topics. And if not, you know how we do things on the Retroactive Trio show. Feel free to submit ideas in my Discord or on Twitter. You can find me there. Josh, you're on Twitter as well. Ekun, you're on Twitter as well, right? I think I tagged
Twitter,
you.
Yep, Twitter, Instagram, all those things.
Yeah. So
I do have a channel on here. Me and my meager 135.
well, we gotta change that, Josh. Come on. Drop your channel,
Look, man.
bro.
Dude, I told you, I'm not popular. Oh yes, you are. No, I'm the. When it comes to the numbers game in this group, apparently I'm the little fish.
Well, drop that.
I just dropped a link to my
link.
channel. But no,
That's,
also like, subscribe, reshare our Pokemon Artcast. We appreciate that. Whether you share it late, share it in the middle, or share it at the beginning, it's always welcome.
And thank you all for being active in the chat as well. It's always fun to see you guys comment, share your ideas, your thoughts, and the first round of Catch or Trash was actually pretty interesting. So that may become a staple on the show. I'm looking forward to that.
It totally should. But if we go the extra mile, we might have to be like a little more, probably like lower that number from 6 to like something more reasonable, I guess.
Oh, maybe. I mean, we did pretty well with the 5 or 6 that we had, so maybe we can.
5 or 6 we had, and what was it? 3 or 4 dropped in the comments.
Which is always good. That's always good, yeah. Exactly.
I like the audience participation.
Sure do.
I don't have to throw all these Pokeballs at people now. Only at Ekun. Now the question is it the Zom-Mew that has the trash can behind my back, or is there no trash can behind my back in a match?
I think.
What do you think, Ekun? Are you willing to take that chance? Or are you going to be like most Pikachu in that game, try to run?
That's how we survive.
Now we're gonna have to storyboard this. You realize that?
Oh, what? Find somebody who wants to draw, like, even do just a sprite comic of this whole encounter?
You know that's what's gonna happen.
Well, I don't got that kind of time right now. I got other IRL pressing matters to be like, hey.
Fair enough. And good luck to everybody out there who is playing Arceus or any of the Pokemon titles or whatever games you just happen to be playing at the moment. Good luck with all of that. Be sure to share your experiences with Arceus or any Pokemon games you may have had in the comments section or on my Discord. We love to hear from you guys because, again, this is a podcast where we talk about all things Pokemon. So, again, just feel free to share your ideas, your experiences, what you like, what you don't like. And maybe that'll be a show topic for next time. So, thank you all for tuning in. This is Zom-Mew.
Kamikaze. Oh.
Once again, stepping on my Pokénads, are we? No.
Gentlemen.
5 pokey paces to the right, turn and face each other, and announce your exit, please.
Alright. Alright, well, this is Kamikaze Ekun. Had a blast being here, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Marshadow. Better known as Josh Shadow at this point. Until next time I possess this poor innocent ghost teddy bear.
He's ready to just let loose with that Pokeball too. It's kind of frightening.
I don't know what's more unsettling there. The fact that it's aggroed and it's like, but at the same time, he has my general facial expression of like, just like not really care, that whole neutral, not caring look. And then there's just Ekun looking all happy and smug and everything.
Smug.
And like not
That's what you call
seeing
it.
the violence, not seeing this violence coming, and you're like, wee.
I know I'm completely oblivious to what you're trying to do.
That or the whole, yeah, I totally know what's gonna happen, but it's a new friend. Maybe, I don't know. We gotta check his stats.
I'm like, hey.
I thought he was hiding in the tall grass there.
It's like
Who said
he got
you weren't
spotted.
at the time?
It's like he got spotted. He's like, oh no.
He's like, I feel fabulous right now. He'll catch my brother, and he totally won't catch me. Like, let's find out.
Alright, well, thank y'all for joining us. You all take care, and we'll see you on the next Pokemon Artcast.
Later. 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 Later.
Pika, Pika.